Tapping, tap into your purpose. Tapping,
Okay.
check it. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Our purpose. Our purpose. We tapping into purpose. Our purpose. Our purpose.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Zay.
And it's your boy Rashad.
And this is the Wrong Purpose Podcast.
That's right. And we back with the podcast that's all about tapping into your divine purpose while being the authentic, raw, authentic you and thriving in that every single day.
100%. So if you guys were with us part one, we're here at part two with our guests. We got Mo with us. We have Sharese with us. And we're just going to dive into now them sharing what they do. Like, they both have fantastic businesses. It's just super dope, right? Hearing what they're working on, what they're striving for. So we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to hear more in detail. Part one was just us letting you meet them, right? Letting them get just get used to us talking and being in front of the cameras and everything, right? It's super casual, super cool. I think we got some good conversation, even afterwards,
Absolutely,
just
yeah.
talking about the whole marriage aspect of being in business. How do we get men to be more emotionally engaged with their wife, right? And then how do we help wives understand where men are coming from and all that stuff, because it's important. Because I say the most important institution that was established is marriage, right? And
Right.
Honestly, businesses are similar to marriages, right? That's why it's like the contract. The whole governmental thing. It's a business, right? But we had that dope, great conversation. So now we're jumping in to them kind of breaking down more of what they do. I'm gonna flip it over to Sharese. Go ahead and explain, give them more details of what you do. Because when you just said it, like off camera, I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Like you were doing things before it became an actual app. So
Yeah, before it became an
Kicking
actual
it
app, I
off.
like that.
yeah.
Well, like I said, the name of my business is ME Shopping Service, and ME is just the acronym of our family business, McCommons Enterprises, and I call it a family enterprise of McCommons entrepreneurs. All my children, which are adults now, but most of our family are entrepreneurs. I just happen to be the one entrepreneur that loves to shop. And it's been a passion of mine for years. I'm back in the day. I wouldn't necessarily say I love to go and hang out in stores, but I'm the kind of person that loves the thrill of the hunt. I like the finds. I like the fabulous finds. So I can go out. I like to do my research. Thank goodness for internet now, so I can do my research.
Yeah.
So I have people that come to me. When I first started, I actually started my business, just to rewind a little bit. I actually started my business back in 2000.
Okay.
So it's been around, but I've actually been an entrepreneur back since 1980. But I actually launched my business back in 2000. And I came up with that idea of having people, the things that you normally, your consumable products that you have to buy anyway, you can come to me and I can help you buy them.
Wow.
So it just exploded from there. I have people that, coming to me for nutritional products, specialty products, things they're trying to build. I've even helped small businesses get started. They're looking for ideas. I had one lady that started her hair care line. I helped her with getting the containers for her hair care products, the ingredients to go in, and I do the shopping. You tell me what you need, I'll go find it for you. And this was way before they had the DoorDashes and the Uber Eats and all
that.
the ones,
Yeah.
Postmates and all that too.
Yeah.
But now, thanks to technology, they can tell me what they need. I go online, I find it, and I can have it shipped to them. I've even done it for businesses. They'll give me a purchasing card, and I'll go out and make sure they have all their office supplies and everything that they need too. So I'm more kind of like a concierge, but to a different level, in other words.
I mean, that's super dope. I mean, it goes back to, like you said, like the reason why they don't go to the app, they go to you is because of the relationships. Like, that's one of the key parts of business is building the proper relationships.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I work with this guy that we travel, and we were in Austin, and we went to this golf course. And just to join the golf course was, to put in the application, it was $175K.
Wow.
Exactly.
Just to apply.
Wow.
Just to apply.
Just to apply. I was like, man, that's a lot of money. But then I thought about it. man, you're on golf courses with other people that are pitching in that much money. Can you imagine the multi-million-dollar deals that are being done on the golf course and in those
Yeah.
those
You're
kitchens
buying
and
into that
workouts?
acres of diamonds, if you
Yep.
will.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, building the relationships are 100% important in business to help your business grow, right? It's establishing that foundation. So, Mo, go ahead and share with them, like, now you're a sommelier. It's a French word. Sommelier. Sommelier. Right? So, share with them what does that mean, first and foremost? What is that? And, just what do you do?
Okay, so sommelier is French, and it basically means in English is a wine waiter. So we call it, or I like to say I'm a wine connoisseur. So the name of my business is called Wine Snobs LLC. I like to say that because I do have a different palate and I can be a little opinionated. So I like to do, I like to judge and critique wine. So I started doing this probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I got introduced to it by my husband. He loves wine and he goes to the festivals and stuff. That's one of the ways that we kind of started dating. So through the course of that, the beginning of last year, we just decided that we were going to start a business. So ultimately, when we do the wines and we go to the wine tastings, we have to travel outside of Douglasville, and we're always traveling maybe 20, 30 miles or going into the city. We're always leaving probably 30, 45 minutes away to go to a wine tasting. So I had the idea, let's bring a winery to Douglasville. Like, let's bring a wine bar to Douglasville, just something. That way we can get people, we can bring the culture to Douglasville and educate people about wine because we don't have anything like that over there.
Yeah.
So that was the ultimate plan, but our plan just kind of evolved and took flight. And going through all the red tape, we just decided that we were just going to do wine tastings throughout Douglasville, which kind of expanded into Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, and now into a gym. So we just do wine tastings everywhere. We just want to bring the culture because we just, one of the things that I had noticed when it comes to people of our ethnicity is we always want something that's sweet. We always talk about Stella Rose, and I'm not trying to throw shade on Stella Rose because, Stella Rose was amazing. Like back when, she came out, when Stella Rose did come out, like it was really, really good. And, just a glass of wine would get you there. But now I want people to know, like, I guess my key purpose and what motivates me is I want to refine our culture's palates because not everything has to be sweet.
Yeah.
There's flavor in the tannins and the reds and the Sauvignon Blancs. You just have to know how to pair it with the right food. You have to know how to drink it. You sip with a purpose. You don't sip to get drunk, or you don't sip to get tipsy or relax and stuff. You sip with a purpose.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to educate my people on.
Sip with a purpose.
With a purpose. I like that.
So originally, when I did my first wine tasting, I started off with maybe 5 or 6 people. 5 or 6 people turned into about 30 people. So I had to expand, and now I'm doing wine tastings pretty much throughout Douglasville, Metro Atlanta area.
Now, in part 1, there was a word that you, I think you blended like wine and education. Like, what was that?
Wine-educate.
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 Let me wine-educate you.
I think, and me and my guy Joe, we talk about it in his space that, like, I think education now is going to be, like, educating people on the product is going to be the best marketing tool for products and services. Right? Because most people are just not educated on, I don't know anything about wine. The crazy thing is, like, went to a New Year's Eve party on New Year's Eve, and someone was like, hey, can you bring some champagne? I'm like, sure. I don't drink, So I'm like, hey, what's a good champagne? Like asking people
Right.
that like they know the difference of champagne. I was like, yeah, like my wife, she would love this because she enjoys drinking wine. Like I'm just, I just stay away from the alcohol, just period. Right? I've had a few bottles, but it's like I don't know. It's like, some people taste it. It's like, ooh, I can taste the chestnut in this. Like,
And she be
savory. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a little dry, like it's got a little note of this, like, oh really? Like
it's succulent. Right. And for me, I was just like, this tastes good. Right. For her, it's like it's the feeling, it's the experience, it's all of that, and it's just like, but I think it would be like, just the education piece. As I'm just even thinking of ideas like date nights for educating, like
yes.
So it's like there's so many things, especially in our culture, that we need to understand about wine. Because, you go to outside of the United States, it's normal to sit with your family.
Right.
And even teenagers
Yep.
are sitting there drinking wine.
Yep.
while
Having
they're
dinner
eating a
together,
meal,
yep.
Right? It's and then there's so many, from what I hear, so many benefits of drinking wine.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
for your body. And then it's like, of course, everybody likes to say, well, the first miracle Jesus did was turn water into wine. And it's like, well, I always say it's a little different kind of wine back then. Like, it's not what the wine we have today that's filled with sugar and, the different processed stuff. But what got you interested in wine, right? What
got me interested in wine? My husband.
Okay.
My husband, like I said, he's been into wine for a very long time. We were best friends prior to actually dating and getting together. So he would tell me about his wine experiences, and I was kind of like you, where I didn't like to drink. I have I've experienced some things in my familyhood, in my family where they have addictions, and I always said that I never wanted to be that person, so I'm just not going to drink. So when I drink, I would drink like socially, but not to the point where I would get a bottle and take it home. But when I got with him and he started drinking again socially with him, then it was just like it was a different experience. Like, I'm going to these events, we're tasting certain things and stuff. I just kind of got into it and I fell in love. And then I got into it and I just fell in love with it. So, and it helps that he likes it too. Now he has a different his palate is more no, he likes sweet. My palate is surprisingly more refined than his is.
Okay.
But he can definitely tell the textures, and we can go on and on about what he tastes versus what I taste. And he was like, I was like, well, it's nasty. And he's like, well, I love it. So
Yeah.
Just he keep the passion is definitely in there, especially when we can have an argument, but when we start talking about wine, it's like nothing else matters.
That's fire.
But our palates are different, but you say he turns you on to it, but you're more refined.
Yes. Yeah.
Palates are different.
He can taste the notes, and his is very refined, but I feel like mine is more defined than his is. He loves the sweets. He loves everything sweet, smooth, and kind of like a liquor. He loves like port. And he's getting into the Sauvignon Blancs, but he's starting to appreciate the Rieslings. Whereas me, I like Malbec. I like the reds. I love the tannins. That's just more of my thing. So yeah.
Yeah, you're speaking Spanish to me.
I was about to say some of the things I'm like.
I'm with you on that. Seriously, naming them all.
Now you said he's tasting notes. Is that what you said?
Yes.
What does that mean?
So notes is kind of like okay, how do I say this? Notes is the flavors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you aerate or when you put it into like right now, if I go like this, I'm opening up. Opening up the wine. I'm opening up the notes so I can kind of smell the aroma, get the intensity of it, and savor the flavor.
Or like to open up the notes so it can play a little something on your
Right.
sink.
First time I heard that phrase before, man. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was like, no.
Open
I
up
was
the
like,
notes. Okay. I'm learning too. This is good.
yeah. I was like, that's fascinating. Have you seen the movie that's about like the black sommelier? Like, he's
On
trying to go.
Netflix?
Yeah, I seen Netflix. My wife made me watch it.
I want to say I've been trying to watch it.
Okay.
It more so watched me, but I did watch it. I got the gist of it.
Yeah, because it was just interesting. Like that whole community, like the whole. It's just. I mean, it's funny for me. I just you lift the wand up, you circle it, and it's like. You know,
And you get the smells
right, get the
going.
smell. What are you feeling? What's the
Right.
It's like
A whole experience.
right.
It is. It's an
Yeah.
experience, and that's the reason why people appreciate and enjoy it because it's an experience.
Cause I must say, I've been to her event for the first time, her in-home one
Right.
last week and everything. It was real fun and interesting, especially like what she's talking about, like the different palettes, because everybody gets a chance to try it and hear everybody talking about like, I kind of like it. Other people
Yep.
like, that's nasty,
Right.
Yep. 'Cause I've been to
Right.
them like that.
Yeah.
They have the reds and the whites, and then it's like, well, which one? Well, I can taste the woodsy flavor and stuff, and I'm like, I'm
The
not there
oats
yet.
and
But I'm
cinnamon,
like, well, this
coconut.
is nasty, like you said.
like I
You
taste a little
develop a
grapefruit.
palate.
Like you found that, yeah. But it's interesting. I like it, like as it really does open up your palate, awaken your senses, and make you kind of like sit, like you said, kind of sit with more of a purpose. Yeah.
Because you're not just sipping wine, you're experiencing it. And it's my job to make sure that you experience and you get that
best
experience.
experience.
Yes. Because
like that.
anybody can open up a bottle.
Right.
But where did that bottle come from?
Yeah.
How did that bottle get there? What was the product, or what was the product for the bottle?
Yeah.
And so how was it fermented?
Right.
Like,
The age and
yeah.
And what's the difference between aged wine and current wine? I mean, you would have to know that, though, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Because I thought wine was wine, however old it was. But like you said, when you're more a connoisseur of it.
Yeah, so the aged wine is more refined. It is it's more smoother. It's more of the reds that are aged, and it's smoother and it's sweeter, and it has more characteristics in that more aged wines than it does the ones that you can you can get all of them off the shelf, but. Yeah, the 2020. But now, don't get me wrong, the 2020s are good too, and even the early 2017s and the 2010s, those are good too. But it's like the aged wines, they're going to be more expensive.
right.
Yeah.
They are more
Makes
expensive.
sense.
Yeah, we don't know if somebody got a wine cellar, they're going to bring something back from
Right.
10, 15 years ago. where it's
Right.
Like,
Because they're
is
not
this
aged
still
it
good?
themselves.
You know, they be talking about,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the best kind.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
one thing that I love, Sharese, about you said the name of it is the McCommons Enterprise. So how important is that? Because that sounds like it's legacy. It's for legacy to keep the name going. And then does all the businesses that has been created, does it do you guys have like a fund that it feeds into that you kind of are trying to, or is it just like y'all have your own business, but that's like the overarching family?
It was just my idea.
Okay.
The whole McCommons Enterprise was my idea back way then. But by that time, I had started instilling into them the whole entrepreneurship background. So like I said, my daughter, she started her business, and then Rashad had his business, then his brother had his business. We have, now it's going into other generations, the grandkids. They're having their businesses. Everybody wants to have this entrepreneur background now, as opposed to, the regular 9 to 5 punching the clock scenario.
Yeah.
They're learning the background behind having your own business.
Now, have you thought about turning it into like you guys' own like venture capitalist firm? Because I mean, that's what I'm hearing when I hear McCommons Enterprises,
No, I hadn't.
right? where like you guys invest into it so that y'all can now either invest in generations to come or just to be be able to help other entrepreneurs fund their business?
I would love to do that. Yeah, I mean, it just has evolved so much over the years. I never just gotten into that, especially now when I'm talking to my grandkids and they're starting their own businesses. So I get, and the thing was, it was going to be a legacy thing. You know, start I got my entrepreneurship from my father.
Okay.
So it just came to me naturally. So I didn't make them say, well, y'all don't need to have a real job. Y'all need to be It just came naturally to them.
Yeah.
So now that their kids are, you know, coming up with the same idea. So,
Yeah.
you know, I never thought of the venture capitalist thing, but.
Yeah. My wheels just spin.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a real idea.
Rashad be like, yo, chill out, bro.
All right, don't let him be on no caffeine. Like, whoa. Look, we need to get a
But see, mine
voice
is just
recorder.
like that, because just like what you was talking about is partnering with another winery or whatever. My mind is always like that, always, you know, way ahead. You know, you give me an idea and I run with it. It's like, no, I didn't even think about that. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just think of like just the way that everything is going, and then because like, you know, some Rashad always says like we're gonna have to really depend on community in these next coming years, because like, you know, one, nobody's coming to save us, and number two, just the way the world's gonna shift, right? We've been so focused on individuals that at some point it has to go back to the community being the focus. So just thinking about like that, because there's so many different businesses that you guys have from, just from my knowledge of what everybody does, and it's really key. Like, I asked you this, Rashad, with your mom being here, right? How has that influenced you as an entrepreneur? Like for myself, you know, my mom had a daycare, but I didn't really see it, right? So I haven't seen like the success of an entrepreneur at home, but you have. How has that helped you, even in you building your training business, right? Because I've seen you've been going at this for a long time. So,
I mean, it's helped me tremendously because, because my mom and dad are different. My dad is more of the, you know,
Conventional.
conventional
9 to
blue
5,
collar. Yeah,
20 years and all that stuff.
Yeah,
too.
he's good with right. So like seeing that other side of like entrepreneurship, doing business, you know what I'm saying, outside of the business of working for somebody else, it was definitely good to see, because I wouldn't have even really thought that much that I could do certain business things had I not at least seen it. You know what I'm saying? So it being present, it definitely like opened up like possibilities of like, yeah, I could definitely do it. I've seen her do it. I've seen her work that and do this on the side. So, you know, things could be done as well. So it definitely has, you know, influenced my courage to not just start in business, but to continue in business. And she was always, like she said, she was grinding, but she wasn't doing it to a detriment of us. But just always seeing that like consistency, that thrive and that drive to like just continue to, you know, do business and serve people and help people has helped me, because I'm in a people business where it's serving and helping people and everything. And I can say the same like for myself. There's other coaches, trainers, and all that are around that they pass by, but they usually always like end up live and come back full circle, back to work with me, which I'm grateful for and everything. So yeah, it's definitely all about that quality of who you are and what you offer, and that difference and that distinction. That's like a part of yourself, your brand and your niche and everything, that lets people know, like, you know, I can trust you. I want to do business with you and continue to do business with you and nobody else, you know. So, yeah, it definitely influenced my path a whole lot.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, Sharese, you said you've been in the entrepreneur space 40 years. What are some of the some of the negatives that you've had to turn into positives, right? We always say, like, people think that success in business is like you go from here to here. It's easy, right? But really what it looks like is like a heart monitor. It's like,
Yeah.
right? It's crazy. It's all over the place. So how did you deal with the valley moments of business, right? Just to encourage a young lady out there, like, again, you're a mom, you're a wife, balancing like when the businesses isn't really working, but you know, you still have to show your kids the whole process. So
I guess first of all, just knowing what your why is, why you want to do this. Because in the beginning, when I first started my business, I was in the military and we moved a lot. So every time we moved, I had to start all over again. So I've started over like 10 times, just starting all over. Because every time you move to a different place, you have to come find a whole different clientele. I'm
Yeah.
doing the same thing now. I moved to Chattanooga a couple of years ago. So now I'm trying to build in that area.
yeah,
So it's like every time you move, you got to start all over again. But I know what my why is, that's a passion of mine to serve. So that's I guess is my more the valley part is the starting over. But I just don't let that stop me. I know what I got to do. I know what drives me. This is what I want to do. The need is going to always be there. People going to always need something.
yeah,
It's just building those relationships again.
yeah,
That's the thing that just drives me.
yeah. That's so that why is so important.
Very.
So important. Like, you know, in my earlier days of being introduced to like network marketing, they were like, "What's your why?" So my why used to be back then, I wanted to retire my parents. Then my dad had a stroke and he retired, and he's like making more money retired than he is working. Right? So it's like, oh, okay. Now I got to figure out what is the why, right?
Why?
Then I get a wife, right? And then a baby, and then got the other one.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's why, like, you know, honestly, there's so many times where I was thinking about shutting all this down
Oh.
and walking away from it. And, but it was just like, you know, it's like, why, first, like you said, it's that passion. It's that, like, purpose. And then it seemed like the whole reason why I looked at this space was everything's shifting digital. People are going to want to create content. A lot of people did it in 2020, and then they realized how hard it really is to do the back end stuff. They're not going to want to do it. They're going to want to come. And so it's like, okay, people are going to come. You just got to push past the adversity, because that's all it is.
That's right. The
Is
adversity.
the adversity.
And that's going to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Everywhere. And it's like you can't be like, oh, that sucks, I quit. Right? You got to push past it. Mo, as you've been building this, what are some of the like adversities that you've run into just even early on in getting this off the ground?
So, like I said before, originally we were trying to start a winery in Douglasville. Well, it's so much red tape there that ultimately we kind of had to make the decision that they don't want a winery in Douglasville. They don't. So, like, to me, and I'm so headstrong, my husband's like, no, we're just going to just do wine tastings. I'm like, no, we can fight, get through it. And he's like, no, like maybe 5 or 6 years down the line when we get some land, and then we can go in and push through. But like right now, this is what we're doing. But I would definitely say that was one of the obstacles that we had, because when I had my mind set to something, I wanna make it. I wanna see it through, from beginning to end. And that's just how I've always been. I don't care about the obstacles and the way I'm gonna climb that mountain. But yeah, I guess that just wasn't our calling right now.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good thing, because like what we're doing right now, it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
It definitely works.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to the wine, to building our wine, like in Douglasville doesn't want to give us a liquor license so we can make our wines, but we went through a private wine labeler to make everything happen. So we're just finding doors.
Yeah.
We're just finding doors. God is really blessing us.
Yeah. Yeah, and the great thing about the delay for even opening the winery, now you get to create the relationships. So that
Right.
now when you open it, you've already had trust. And then like, one of the other things is to like find a way to network with the people that make the decisions.
Yep.
Right.
Right. And then, we know, like, I know Douglasville. Like, my parents live in Douglasville. I know, like, what the roots are of Douglasville, right? It's, and this is just another part of the adversity that we have to go through. It's like, yeah, it's a little tougher for us. And then, sadly, it's because some of it's brought on ourselves. Because when we tend to do more stuff, we make some dumb decisions, and they already have bad ideas of who, what we are anyways.
Right.
So it's like, it's a little tougher, but, like, it's good to be able to build the relationships now to where then once you get the land, you get it built. Now you have a large following to where now you're not stressed out about, all right, this thing's open and nobody's coming through the doors. Now you got a brand out, you got your name out, you got this. So it's like, even for just entrepreneurs, it's like sometimes God's delaying something so that he can anchor it. Right? So that he can establish a strong foundation so that, we like to say, oh, God blessed me with this, but then it becomes a burden. And what God blesses with never becomes a burden.
Right.
Unless we mismanage it. That's the only way it becomes a burden. But if it's truly from God, God's going to provide everything that we need to be able to sustain it.
Right.
And even if he even comes to us and says, hey, I need you to shut that down, that means he has something greater for us to pivot into. And you take everything you learn from that situation, right? Because I'm thinking about you having to move 10 times. That's 10 different trial runs that you had to do to where now you can get it perfect where you are now. Like going through all that stuff, it's, I was talking with someone the other day and they were like, I was holding on to the scripture that says that God's going to restore what the cankerworm destroyed. Like, well, the only way it can be restored is it has to be destroyed. We don't like the destroying part. We just like, oh, he's going to restore. It's like, well, no. The destroying part has to happen first. The cankerworm has to eat it all, has to destroy it so that he then can restore it. You can't have one without the other. We don't like the other one. We don't like going through the pruning process. We just want the restoration. It's like, oh, we win. We want the new. But the adversity is important. So that's why you got to have that strong why, right? For you, the passion is you want to educate the culture, right? Online. So it's like, all right, cool. We'll make this pivot. We'll make this adjustment because the why is greater than any adversity or anything that can come and, come at you. So yeah, y'all are doing some amazing things, right? I'm grateful for this time that we've had together, and like I said, one to express and show, like ladies doing some great things in the marketplace, especially believers, right? Seeing believers doing great in the marketplace, because that's honestly where God called us to, is to be in the marketplace, and developing, because all the skills are teaching us how to be disciples. Right?
That's right.
In order to build a team, you got to disciple the team on the wine. You got to sit there and coach them on what is this? What is this? What's the same with the word? You got to sit and spend that time with someone in the word to help them understand this is how you use this for their life, just like the wine. Like, hey, this wine goes with this steak, these potatoes, and this, right? And this wine goes with this. Having to study, right? And having to study people to understand, all right, I need this from the store. All right, cool. I got you, right? Being able to build those relationships to expand those. So as we close, ladies, will you do me a favor? Look into the camera, share, like, where can they find you? Where can they, patronize your business? Where can they get more information about your business? And just, share with them any details that you would like for them to know.
Okay. Well, you can catch me on Facebook and you can catch me on Instagram, Mayika Sommelier. That's MONYIKKA Sommelier. Right now, I have a couple of events that are going on. You can check on them on Facebook and Instagram. But I'm doing 3 wine tastings in the month of February. One will be at Physique Me S4L gym, where we'll be doing a sip and stretch, or it's going to be a yoga and sip. is going to be amazing. It's going to be February 11th. And then the other two will be at Star Food Lounge, where it's going to be on a Sunday at 4. On the 12th, I'm doing a sip and paint. And then on the 26th, I'm doing a wine tasting to give acknowledgement to black-owned winemakers and vineyards. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Outside of that, we are posting a trip to Napa Valley on October. And so if you want to get on that, that's going to be on my social media website as well. So, yeah, that's going to be a vibe. We're going to do crushing. We're going to do wine, grape crushing. We're going to make wine. We're going to do the wine train. And we're going to visit one of the black-owned vineyards in Napa Valley. So, yes, it's going to be an experience.
It's going to be your year, yes.
Yes, this is definitely going to be our year. Mayika Sommelier. That's how you can catch me on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
All right.
Mom?
All right. And my website is meshoppingservice.net. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And I've also had an extension of one of the products that I sell. I have a passion for health and wellness as well. I've developed last year a website called Health is the New Beauty, which is my health and wellness line. I've also am a member of the CBD Ladies, where we've gone across to all of the Atlanta metro area marketing our CBD health and wellness line. So a lot of people probably know us from that. But my extensive health and wellness line is called Health and Wellness. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram.
Fire. Where can they find you on Instagram?
Under both names, ME Shopping Service and Health is the New Beauty.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sweet. Sweet. Good stuff. Like you said, man, they are doing some amazing things, bro. Any, closing words?
Last words. Do I look like a pastor? No.
It's just our rhythm, my guy.
No, yeah, absolutely. But no, I just think it was a great 100% amazing sit down conversation episode that we just had. Hopefully some of the words that were brought forth today, hopefully something, a nugget, caught you in some type of way. Hopefully it related to you in some type of way, because we all got a story, and the more we come together, network, we find out things that we maybe didn't know about ourselves, or things that we didn't see about ourselves, our life, our business, our own relationship, whatever that may be. So just really taking, whatever it is, especially to comment. If there's any gem that you got today, drop it in the comments that you got from any one of these ladies today, or whatever it may be. But yeah, but it's all in one thing I heard, what I shared before we got here too, as a common thread with between you two is like that passion and that, and not just that drive, but that resilience. Letting that, whatever that is, that holds your resilience to keep going, to go past adversity, to keep the right attitude when you're doing business, to keep the right focus, and to trust the path and everything. Like that takes a lot. That takes a lot of courage as you traverse through this entrepreneurial journey and whatnot. So I just encourage y'all to keep doing what y'all doing. I support you. We support y'all in whatever 100%. It is that y'all want to do and are wanting to do going forward. So, of course, me and Mo are partnering February 11th. That's what we starting on. More likely will probably be the beginning of other collaborations as well.
Absolutely.
So...
that's gonna be like your most packed out yoga session, right?
I know I'm gonna be there.
Like they get the stretch and some wine.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? A little swirl.
Stretch and swirl.
Yeah, we gonna swirl them hips. Then we gonna swirl that.
I'm gonna be in the house for real.
Come up, take a sip.
Right, good one. Take a sip. Yeah.
Well, ladies, man, we appreciate you all, we appreciate you all coming to spend the time with us. Like you said, I hope something was said that could encourage a lady out there to just keep moving forward. And they shared their contact, so I'm sure that they can give you any kind of encouragement. If you have any questions, anything, reach out to them, and they could help you and give you some coaching or some training or whatever that they're able to do. Like you said, you got 40 years of experience, and then you got one that's 15 years in just entrepreneurship, period. So it's always key that we're able to connect and be a part of these things. So you guys, we appreciate you taking this time, listening. Do us a favor. Go down. You see a little subscription that says subscribe. Just go click the button. Just
And right there, you can hit the little subscription bell if you want to, just so you stay in the loop.
And you can like, comment, share, and then you can email us even at rawonpurpose@gmail.com, right? And we're on Instagram, rawonpurpose_, right? So we're on the different platforms, so definitely tune in. Let us know what you think so that we can keep pumping out this great content so that we can continue to encourage everyone. Like you said, this whole thing is about being your authentic self and living out your purpose. I think you got to hear the ladies' purposes today. And so until next time, it is your boy Zay.
And, of course, it's your boy Rashad.
And this is the Raw on Purpose podcast.
Keep tapping in.
Tapping. Tap into your purpose. Tapping. Check it out. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. They act as if we see, no hear, no speak, no evil. We tapping into purpose. Raw on purpose. We tapping into purpose.